This is your prime time forecast for East Alabama and West Georgia from Dr. Don's Weather. Dr. Don's Weather is made possible by the Randolph County Commission, East Alabama Waste, Southern Auction Solutions, Genesis Weight Clinic, Jimmy Stevens Construction, Anchor Roofing, the Town of Wadley, Auction 431 South, the Salem Auction House and Bama Diesel Repair. From the Alpha Weather Center, powered by Fincher Fence, Estate Masters, Boondocks Barbecue and Creamery, Southern Union State Community College and the venue at 5 Points Farms, here's Dr. Don.
Yeah, good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don in here with you. And, boy, I tell you, we've got data streaming in here by the second. Lots going on this morning. We've got a lot to talk about. There have been changes since the last time we talked, and we're going to get into it this morning for your primetime forecast. January 8th, 2025, major winter storm looming for Alabama and Georgia. Thank you, AT Farms at 2030 County Road 162 in Lafayette, Alabama, for being a partner with us here on Dr. Don's Weather. Tyler Slay, good folks down there at AT Farms, and they're now offering shelled deer corn in bags or barrels. Yeah, if you're a hunter, a deer hunter, you still got a couple, 2-3 weeks left in the deer season in Alabama, and you need to get in touch with Tyler at 334-614-6740. I know this is locally grown corn there in Chambers County, and that's who you need to be buying your deer corn from. So get in touch with Tyler today. And Tyler, we awfully are grateful for you being a partner with us here on Dr. Don's Weather. Of course, Jamie Dukas got all you ducks in a row with Dukas when it comes to your insurance needs. Alpha Insurance, hard to beat. And Jamie can save you money. Get in touch with Jamie at 256-831-7770. Or you can click the link at the top of the video on Facebook, bottom of the video over on the YouTube. All right, let's see. Here we go. Get ready for major winter weather across Alabama and Georgia. Winter storm now very likely. All models are in good agreement. The National Weather Service has settled in on a weather forecast, and it is a little more significant than it was last night when we were talking on Weather Talk Live. We are now expecting significant weather impacts as far south as the I-85 corridor in Alabama and in Georgia. Actually, in Georgia, we're probably talking south of Atlanta, all the way back over maybe down across the I-20 corridor in Georgia. We're looking at 2 to 4 inches of snow down across the I-85 corridor and north. Now, understand, if you're along the I-85 corridor, you're on the low end of that 2 to 4, so you're probably around 2 inches. Then as you go north, that snow total will increase, and for most of our Dr. Don coverage county area across East Alabama and West Georgia, you're going to be in that 3 to 4 inch category range, and that's going to be on Friday morning into maybe 10, 11 o'clock Friday morning, and then we may start to change over to a mixture of snow and sleet. Eventually by noon on Friday, your precipitation will go liquid. So we think by Friday afternoon, driving conditions and weather conditions will be much better across East Alabama and West Georgia. Honestly, this is a perfect scenario for snow lovers. You get 4, 5, maybe 6 hours to play in the snow, and then it goes away. That's about as good as you can get. And then along the I-20 corridor in Alabama and Georgia north, we're talking 4 to 6 inches of snow accumulation. Again, along the I-20 corridor, you're at the lower end of that. We're probably talking around 3 to 4 inches of total accumulation. And then as you go north, you'll increase. And by the time you get to the Tennessee Valley region of North Alabama and the mountainous regions of North Georgia, you may be looking at 6 inches of snow before this is all said and done. And it will take much longer, if at all, to get the snow to change over to rain across the extreme northern counties of Alabama and Georgia. There's a decent chance we don't change over to freezing rain or sleet or rain at all across the extreme northern parts of Alabama and Georgia. We may stay snow for the entire event. And there's going to be some surprises, folks. Look, Mother Nature is going to do Mother Nature. Mother Nature's not listening to James Spann or Don Strength or Glenn Burns or any of the meteorologists or weather folks across this country of ours. Mother Nature is going to do Mother Nature. So there's going to be some surprises. Some of you will not get as much as we're telling you is possible. And some of you are going to get more. There will be some pockets in there, especially along I-20 and north, where we're forecasting 4 to 6 inches, but some 7 and 8 inch totals would not surprise me at all. Same thing between I-20 and I-85 in Alabama and Georgia. We're forecasting 2 to 4 inches of snow, but there could be some areas in there that may get up to 5 inches of snow. It's possible. Nonetheless, I would be prepared for significant travel impacts on Friday morning. Nobody's made a call yet, and they shouldn't, because we've still got a ways to go before this thing develops. But I would be prepared for the possibility of not being able to travel on Friday morning across East Alabama and West Georgia. So heads up to schools, heads up to businesses, heads up to you folks who have to travel to work on Friday morning. I think there's a better than 50-50 chance you're not going to be able to. Change over to rain, again, south of the I-20 corridor on Friday afternoon. Of course, that changeover will happen sooner down along the I-85 corridor. So by the time I think noon gets here, I-85 south is all liquid rain, so things get better there quicker. And then by maybe 1, 2 o'clock, the I-20 corridor starts to switch over to all liquid rain, and the snow will quickly go away. Now, Friday night, we're going to drop off into the deep freeze again, so any moisture that is left out there will refreeze, so we're going to have travel problems again Friday night into Saturday morning, and it may be noon-ish on Saturday before things really start to improve across the entire regions along and south of I-20. North Georgia, North Alabama may continue to battle this even into Sunday. It just depends on the snowpack and what the temperatures do. Speaking of temperatures, understand that 2 to 3 degrees here is certainly going to mean the difference between whether you have snow or rain. And I'm speaking to you folks down there on the south end of all of this. I think you can go to the bank, I-20 and north. It's going to happen. But down there, south of I-20 down to the I-85 corridor, just a subtle difference of 1, 2, 3 degrees is going to be where the cutoff line is, and there's not going to be much in between. You're either going to have a cold rain or you're going to have snow. Lots of graphics to show you this morning, so let's go ahead and get started with that. First thing I want to show you is the latest model run, and this will kind of paint the picture of what we think is going to happen. There you go, Friday morning. We get into Friday afternoon. You see the blue hangs on all day long across North Alabama and North Georgia. Maybe late in the period we see some freezing rain up in northeast Georgia, but for the most part, it is going to be all snow. Again, here we go. This is midnight. Now we're working on 2, 3. There's 7 a.m. There's 9 a.m., and you see what happens here. The rain snow line slowly creeps north as we get into late morning and afternoon across East Alabama and West Georgia. So let's take a look at the Winter Storm Watch. It was posted this morning. I told you last night on Weather Talk Live that I anticipated a watch that would probably come out sometime today. Well, they pulled that trigger about 3 a.m. this morning, and every bell and whistle and notification app I have on my phone and in my studio went bonkers at 3 a.m. this morning. But here's the watch, and it does cover basically the northern half of Alabama from, we'll call it from Franklin over in Heard County, Coweta County, Heard County in Georgia, over to Randolph, Clay, Talladega, St. Clair, Shelby, and Jefferson counties and Birmingham north is where the winter storm watch has been posted. Now, what does that mean? That means that we're watching for the possibility of at least 2 inches of snow accumulation within the next 48 hours across this area. So what happens next? Well, they will either upgrade you to a winter weather advisory or a winter storm warning. And I would expect that to happen either later today, maybe this afternoon, or during the overnight this evening as we approach this event, which will start Friday morning. So if your county is under a winter storm watch now, and then they change you from that winter storm watch to a winter weather advisory, that's not a degrade. That is actually an upgrade. You go from watch to advisory to warning. So make sure you understand that as we move through this process. So that's the look at the Alabama and West Georgia watch that has been posted. Now let's take a look at the Georgia side of things. This is the winter storm watch through Saturday morning for the state of Georgia, and you can see that it's roughly from, like I said, Coweta County over to Heard County, and then back to the east, back over toward McDonough, and then up toward Athens north. So every county, basically Atlanta Metro, all the way to the Tennessee and North Carolina state line, now under a winter storm watch in the state of Georgia. And for those of you up here in northeast Georgia, we're looking at 3 to 6 inches of total snow accumulation before this is said and done. There could be some localized areas of up to 8 inches of snow. I would expect that to be on the higher ridge tops. We're talking, if you're familiar with the area, up on top of Richard Russell in White County, Union County, at the top of Blood Mountain up there at the crossing, and then Unicorn Gap north of Helen. Those places at the highest elevations above about 1,500 feet would stand the better chance of seeing that 8-inch snow. Rest of us, we're talking 3 to 6 inches of snow. Metro Atlanta, we're talking 2 to 4 inches of snow. And we have to remember the Snowmageddon of 2014, or the ice debacle of 2014, if you will. And we remember how horrible Atlanta was, and hundreds, potentially thousands of people were stranded on the interstate system in Atlanta. I wouldn't expect that to happen again because actually the brine trucks have been rolling since yesterday across North Georgia. So they're out there treating the roads, and they'll continue that process today and tomorrow. So hopefully the roads, especially the interstate system, will remain in decent shape. But you got to understand, folks, and this applies to Alabama and Georgia, this is not going to be a long process transition where it's going to take several hours for precipitation to change from liquid to frozen. When the precipitation starts Friday morning, it's going to start as snow. No question about that. That's almost a 100% given. I mean, there could be a little sleet mixed in with it, but for the most part, it'll be frozen. So we're going to go from absolutely nothing to a pretty good snow rate almost instantly. And the ground is already going to be frozen. We're not going to have to wait for temperatures to drop. It's already going to be there. So this is going to be a little different from what we're accustomed to here in the Southeast, where we go from nothing to, it's going to, at times, it may actually look like a blizzard out there. I don't think the winds will be that bad, but we'll go from nothing to pretty heavy snow almost instantly. So in every flake that falls is going to accumulate. So we go from no problems to significant travel problems, in a matter of about 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes. So don't get caught out in this is the point I'm trying to make, because you might not be able to get back where you started from if you're out there when all this stuff gets underway. And it could start a couple of hours before sunrise on Friday morning or right around the time the sun comes up. Alabama impacts. So along the I-85 corridor up to around the I-20 corridor, we're calling for limited impacts, winter driving conditions, and of course you'll have to use caution as you're driving. But again, understand, and the thing that's got me concerned is the fact it's not going to be a flash freeze, but it's going to be awfully close to that. And we're going to go from nothing to everything in a matter of just minutes. So I'm really kind of concerned about travel conditions all across East Alabama and West Georgia. Then you get up there around the I-20 corridor. We've got elevated impacts, hazardous driving conditions, closures and disruptions to infrastructure may occur, and that would include most of our coverage area on the north end. We're talking Randolph, Clay, Talladega, up into Cleburne, southern Calhoun, back over toward Birmingham. If you got plans to be in Birmingham Friday morning, I would change those plans based on what we know at the moment. And then you see that purple area from just north of I-20 all the way back into Mississippi, North Birmingham. That's going to be the significant impact area. Dangerous or impossible driving conditions, widespread closures and disruptions to infrastructure will likely occur in that area. And that, of course, just translates over into Georgia. Same thing along and north of I-20, probably going to be a no-go with travel between I-20 and I-85. Big, huge question mark about travel for the first part of your Friday. By the time we get into Friday afternoon, I think we'll change over to rain and driving conditions will improve considerably across East Alabama and West Georgia between I-20 and I-85. So just a couple of ideas here. Ice and snow, take it slow. This is a good graphic and some good basic reminders from the Alabama Emergency Management Agency. Leave extra space between you and the vehicle in front of you. Keep your gas tank as full as possible. A full tank will also keep the fuel line from freezing. And you want to check your local weather and traffic reports. Of course, if you live in Randolph County, make sure that you sign up for Randolph County's emergency alert notifications regroup. You see it right there on the screen. You can go to randolphcountyal.gov to sign up for those notifications if you haven't already. If you live outside of Randolph County, Google your local county or municipality. Odds are they have a mass notification as well. Local government officials is where you get local road information. Don't depend on television, radio, or social media to give you those local road conditions. You got to sign up for your local mass emergency notification information. So let's take a look at the current conditions outside this morning down at the venue at 5 Points Farms. It's a cold start to your Wednesday, 24 degrees out there. Wind is out of the north-northwest at 2, gusting to around 9 miles per hour. Humidity is 83%, the barometric pressure 30.38. Dew point is 20. High temperature yesterday was 41. We currently have clear skies. Sunrise on your Wednesday morning at 6:46. The sun sets this evening at 4:52 p.m. It is going to be a relatively nice day across East Alabama and West Georgia. We will be in the sunshine all day today and again tomorrow. It'll feel fine as long as you're in that sunlight, but if you step off in the shade, it's going to be a little nippy, especially up until around 9 or 10 a.m. 41 your high this afternoon in Roanoke. We'll hit 39 up in Carrollton. Lineville goes to 40. LaGrange will top out at 41, and Auburn hits 44 degrees this afternoon. Here's your 6-day forecast from the Alpha Weather Center. Jamie Dukas, your local Alpha agent for your Wednesday. Mostly sunny. High temperature 42 down to 19 degrees across the land this evening. On Thursday, sunny skies. 45 will be your high. We're going to introduce a 30% chance of frozen precipitation after midnight on your Thursday, but I don't think the meaningful snow will arrive until maybe 4 a.m. on Friday morning. 28 your overnight low on Thursday. And here we go for our winter storm on Friday. Winter storm watch is now in effect for all of East Alabama and West Georgia, north of a line from Clay County to Randolph County over to Heard County. I wouldn't be surprised also if they don't include another tier or two of counties to the south. It may be that by this afternoon, all areas from I-85 north will be included in the winter storm watch, or they may just go straight to an advisory or a warning. But on Friday, a 100% chance of accumulating snow basically north of the I-85 corridor. Some of you will get just a dusting down there on the southern end, and then as you go north, those snow accumulations should increase. Maybe by the time you get up to the I-20 corridor, you're looking at 4 inches of snow, and north of that, you could see up to 6 inches of snow. We will struggle to get much above freezing, and that's going to depend on the snowpack. If we get a couple of inches on the ground real quick before sunrise on Friday, we may stay right at 32 degrees. Seen that before, where you get the snowpack and it kind of insulates the ground and the temperatures just can't get above 32. That'll dictate how long of a duration we're talking about with travel issues as well. But right now, we're going to call for 34, and that would be in the afternoon. We're talking 2, 3 o'clock Friday afternoon before we get to that 34 degrees. 31, your overnight low across the area on Friday night, so anything that is still on the ground that may turn liquid will freeze again on Friday night, and we could see the travel problems move even into Saturday morning across the area. But we go back partly sunny. There could be a few snow flurries from wraparound moisture on Saturday morning. 39 your high by Saturday afternoon, so anything that is frozen will fall by Saturday afternoon. Another cold night on the way Saturday night, down to 20 degrees for your overnight low. Then on Sunday, back to sunshine, 45. And look, by the time we get to Monday, it's going to feel like we're in the Bahamas. 46 degrees will be your high temperature on Monday. Southern Union State Community College Live Doppler HD radar showing all clear across Alabama and Georgia at this hour. If you look real close back over into Texas, we're beginning to see some echo returns that is showing up, of course, as snow. And this is where our next storm system will start to get its act together. It'll be in the form of a low-pressure system that will form somewhere off the coast of Houston. I apologize, folks. I've been fighting this mess for about a month now. But a low-pressure system will form somewhere off the coast of Houston or maybe back over off the Louisiana coast, and then it's going to track east. Right now, we think that track is going to be right offshore, just south of New Orleans, and then maybe right just south of Mobile, and then across Apalachicola, Jacksonville, and then maybe up the eastern coast. That's the track we're banking on, and that is the track that would give us the best snow across Alabama and Georgia. Now, if it goes a little bit further south, maybe 100 miles out into the Gulf, and then comes across Florida south of Jacksonville, that would pull the snow line further south, maybe down even below the I-85 corridor in Alabama. So there's still some things we're going to have to watch, but it's going to be a situation where you just simply open the window and look and see what's happening outside. I think we have pushed technology to its peak at this point, and we're going with this forecast. Then as the storm system evolves on Thursday night, Friday, you'll see subtle changes to the forecast here and there as we go throughout the day. Whew. And we haven't even gotten started yet. Lots of information. So here's the deal. We will do a Weather Talk Live tonight, and we'll update you again if there are any changes throughout the day. Again, don't forget, most of Alabama, North Alabama, and North Georgia under a winter storm watch. Later on today, I would expect some of you to be upgraded to a winter storm warning. Others may go under a winter weather advisory. That is not a degrade from a watch. You go from watch to either advisory or warning. That's the way this works. So we'll watch together and see how that plays out this afternoon. I'll see you back in here this evening. Folks, again, let me reiterate this. There's always a bust factor to any type of winter weather event across the southeastern United States. This system is no exception. There's always that chance that this low-pressure system tracks further north than originally expected, or it's not as strong as originally expected. And some of you who at currently are in the forecast for measurable snow may not get anything at all. That's always a possibility. We call that the bust factor. And it is alive in this forecast also. So please don't start throwing tomatoes at the weather forecasters if you don't get what you are hoping for in your front yard. Again, as I said at the top of this, Mother Nature doesn't care about maps. It doesn't care about colors. It doesn't care about where us humans have drawn the line. Mother Nature's going to be Mother Nature. There will be surprises. There will be excitement. There will be disappointment before we finish this event coming up on Friday and Saturday. I'll see you back in here tonight. We'll update you with the latest information. Please support us if you can. If you own a business and you'd like to be a partner with us, just send me a message on Messenger. I can have you started before we do our Weather Talk Live this evening, right here on Dr. Don's Weather. Y'all fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a ride.
This has been your primetime forecast for East Alabama and West Georgia. From the Alpha Weather Center, powered by Fincher Fence, Estate Masters, Southern Union State Community College, the venue at 5 Points Farms and Boondocks Barbecue and Creamery. Dr. Don's Weather is supported by the Randolph County Commission, East Alabama Waste, Southern Auction Solutions, Genesis Weight Clinic, Jimmy Stevens Construction, Anchor Roofing, the Town of Wadley, Auction 431 South, the Salem Auction House, and Bama Diesel Repair. Be sure to like us on Facebook, share us with all of your friends, and subscribe to Dr. Don's Weather on YouTube. We will be back tomorrow morning with another edition of your primetime forecast on Dr. Don's Weather.